Hi, good morning everyone, and Happy New Year. I hope that you're all staying safe and happy and healthy, and I would like to start the week off with an art lesson. And what I've created for you is a drawing of the space that I'm in. And I want you to think about the corners of the rooms to start with, and just pick one space that you really like and start there. So start with where the walls come together and create a line for the corner, and then think about the angles of the ceiling like I'm pointing out here, and also if you see any angles of the floor in your space. So choose a space that you love to be in so that you're familiar with it, and you'll see how I created mine at the end, and I'll add in some of my tips and pointers as I go. I hope that you have a great week, everybody, and just enjoy trying to catch up on some things and enjoy being in your space with your families. And I look forward to seeing your artwork soon. Take care, everyone. Hi, good morning, everybody, and Happy New Year. I am happy to be creating and making a drawing for you this morning. I am working from my space in my house. It's a bit chilly outside, and I want you to think about the favorite space that you have in your home to work from today or whenever you're making your art this week. And if it takes a few sessions, I would like for you to make sure that you come back to the same spot and sit in the same place so that you have the same view when you're drawing. So notice in my drawing here that I have drawn in a corner of the room and the ceiling and the floor lines, and they're at an angle, at different angles. The ceiling and the floor lines are. And I tried to line up my window lines and my lines for my furniture and other things that have sharp angles lined up with the floor and the ceiling and the wall lines. So those kind of can help you to get the right perspective when you're drawing inside of a room. So choose a spot that you think looks like would be a good place to start from. And I will recreate this step by step so that you can see how I do it, and I will give you some tips and more advice on how to do this. I also added a lot of things that maybe aren't there right now, like the little bird out the window, and you don't see the clutter that's also in my house, so I edited my view. There are also some other instruments and things that I think I'll probably add in this time, so feel free to add things or remove things from your view in order to make your artwork what you want it to be. So I look forward to seeing your artwork this week, and I hope that you're all staying safe and happy and healthy, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. Take care, everyone. So here I have my blank space, and I'm working with the corner of the room first. And then I'm adding the angle of the ceiling. So it's almost like the letter Y. And then I'm adding in the lines for the floor. So now it kind of looks like a big capital I with curved lines, top and bottom lines. So in the corner of my room, I have a lamp, and it's kind of a square shape. So I'm working with a cube, and notice I'm just sketching it in lightly, and I can go in and erase things and change things. So feel free to do the same thing. Don't worry about getting it right the first time. Drawing takes editing and looking and changing and redrawing, and that's kind of the practice of drawing. So make sure that you're constantly looking at what you're drawing so that you don't have to invent things. You're really trying to train your eye to see what's actually there. So as I'm drawing, I am kind of making more than one line. I'm kind of sketching it in, and I'm adding in the angles, the lines for the little shelves and the lamp, and I'm trying to line some of these edges up with each other so that they're parallel. Parallel is also used in math terms and vocabulary, so think about parallel lines and parallel planes as you're working from the space that you're in. So next I'm adding my piano. It's a keyboard actually, and I'm just drawing in a basic kind of a flat rectangular prism, to create my keyboard and the legs. Note that when you're drawing legs of furniture or things that are being held up, those are vertical lines, so they shouldn't be at an angle. They should stay vertical, straight up and down, just like the corner of the room. And then the other lines that we think of as horizontal or flat lines, they may be at an angle because of the way that they're facing towards you or away from you. So make sure that your vertical lines are nice and straight and up and down, and your horizontal lines line up with the floor or the ceiling, depending on how high up your furniture is. You can change things, obviously. You can add things, you can remove things. I want you to think about what's there and not necessarily draw everything. I have a lot of clutter around at the bottom, but I'm not going to add that stuff in because I don't think it really adds to my artwork. So think about what adds to your space and things that really make you happy in your space, and draw those things. You don't have to draw every single thing. Now I'm using my tablet to draw this, but of course you don't have to use your tablet. You may use a piece of paper or your sketchbook or whatever you have. Just make sure that you take a picture of it at the end and turn it in and submit it so that I can see what you've created. I'm using my screen recording button if you are using your tablet. And so if you want to record your process, I think that's a great way to start documenting your work. And you can do that if you have a tablet and you're working with your sketchbook on there. If you're working on paper, feel free to just take a picture of it at the end. Just some wavy lines for the tree branches outside. You don't have to draw every single leaf or every single thing perfect. Just think about the overall shape and the way that some things may look in nature around you or in your room around you. Now I'm adding a little bird in here. He's actually not outside my window at this very moment. We have a bird feeder out there where there are some little chickadees and things, but I'm using some of my creative license to imagine that he's just sitting on a branch right there, as opposed to so far away you wouldn't really be able to see him. So there's my artistic addition in there. I have a little table set up, and rounded shapes are definitely a little trickier to get right with perspective, so just play with it. And you can always edit. Notice how much I am editing, so don't feel bad about changing things or erasing things. It doesn't mean that you're doing it wrong. It means that you're editing and you're thinking about it and problem solving as you go, and that is the great way to learn how to become a better artist, is editing your own work. And then I've got my little coffee cup in the shadow. So anything where you have an object placed on something, notice the shadows behind it or under it as well, and that will help create the illusion that it's sitting on something. Here's my big sliding glass door. Not quite vertical. That's better. And adding in the blinds at the top and the curtain that comes down next. So any of the details that you see around you, try to add them in, but you don't have to be very, very specific unless you really want to. Get as detailed as you want and just feel good about the space you're in as you're working. It's more about the way that you're feeling when you're working. Drawing can be very relaxing and give your brain something to focus on that helps you understand the world around us. So try to think about the way that you're feeling as you're drawing, as opposed to trying to get everything perfect. There's no such thing as perfect. So just do your best and have fun sitting in your space and looking around you and trying to capture the space you're in with your drawing.